So anyway, hope the others get well. Certainly, Councilor Howard, Councilor Lanier, get rest, and hope you'll be feeling much better soon. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Second.
Motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, minutes approved. Department comments. Mr. Mills, you're up first.
Good afternoon.
We have 12 applicants today, 2 for public hearings and 10 for less than 7 days. The first one of the public hearings we have is for the venue going at 6052 Watermelon Road. They were previously approved before, but due to time lapse, they have to go back to the alcohol process. They're applying for a special retail license more than 30 days. My second one I have is the Levy Premium Food Service applying for special retail alcohol more than 30 days at Bryant Denny Stadium. And then we'll start into our other 10 as a special events, less than 7 days. We have the farm parties, a couple of farm parties at Date Party, which is September 3rd. We have one for Southbound, which is September 3rd. And then you have one for DKE Alumni Game Day, which is at 946 University Boulevard. We have Phi Gamma Alumni at 976 University Boulevard. The SAE at 432 University Boulevard. KA Alumni at 416 University Boulevard. ATO Alumni at 332 University Boulevard. Phi Psi Alumni at 312 University Boulevard. SIGF Alumni for 304 University Boulevard. And Sigma Nu Alumni at 990 University Boulevard. Those are the applications I have today.
That's all?
That's it for now.
Any questions, Mr. Mills?
It's gonna be a fun weekend,
It's gonna be a fun next 2 weeks.
huh?
All right. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
Derek, Virgil, today?
What we got first today? We have 2 for you today. The first one is 2810 Elm Street. This one is a voluntary condemnation. It caught on fire in 2016. The original owner
That's two.
moved out, secured the property, but she was elderly, wasn't able to make any repairs. Then we got in touch with the daughter. She was handling the mother's affairs, contacted her about the property. She does know about it. She will be here tonight, or most likely will be. But it was a voluntary, and she's not gonna fight it.
And what's that address again?
That is 2810 Elm Street. That's in District 2. The next one is 4107 11th Street.
Yes. Good.
Back in 2019, we found out the owner was living at this address without active water. Notified the owner, cited the property for property maintenance violations. 2020, the house caught fire. There was no physical damage. We found the owner was working on the house without a permit. I placed a stop work order on him. He applied for a permit in June 2021, but nothing was ever really done. I never had any inspections. Then the house caught fire again, January 2022. As of Monday, August 15th, no repairs or inspections. The permit expired on December 22, 2021. He actually just picked up his old permit, put it back up there after Barry had taken pictures after the second fire.
When was the first fire?
It was an old permit.
The first fire was December 2020.
Does he have any insurance or anything like that? No.
I think
And he's actually been, he's been living out there. I thought he was living in the old camper that's sitting out beside it, but come to find out he's been living under the carport.
Initially,
There is no water there, no electrical, nothing.
initially, I think he was living in the camper, and this is an example for us how real mental health is.
yes.
I know this person. I know him. I've known him all my life. He's a veteran, served his country. But circumstances and events have happened, and it has become a torment to the neighbors.
It's gotta go. It's what you
TPD's been called out there numerous times on complaints about him sleeping in his car and things of that nature as well. So
do.
I agree with Matthew said, excuse me, John, Counselor Hale, because I appreciate the text, the heads up earlier, but it is sad because I believe I think he's in the hospital right
Yeah.
now. And I just wish there was somebody, and I know that, is it his mother that's asking, or sister that's
I think
asking?
it's who? An aunt.
But they don't have anything they don't have anybody that can
They can't take care of it.
take care of him or this, and it's just one of those very sad situations. And,
I don't guess the VA has things, do they?
He has to want to
Oh,
go in.
yeah.
And so, from time to time, he's been sleeping on the ground, not even just under the car, but has slept in the yards of neighbors. And the neighbors who are older where he lives really try to look out for him. But certain circumstances make it hard and difficult for them to do so.
I can imagine.
what do you want? What is your recommendation, since you're much closer to it than any of us?
I just believe that it needs to come down.
Well, they're never gonna repair it.
I made a note, we'll check too. I know that TES is helping with an outreach on mental health, and certainly.
Yeah. He needs
Larry's
services.
team is doing a great job. And I think, is this what you and I talked
Yeah,
about Thursday?
yeah,
Lieutenant Parker's working.
Yeah.
You a veteran, Matthew?
Yes, sir. He is.
But what you said,
Army.
he's gotta want help.
And I think he's he's really, I don't think it's,
Okay, well,
I think it's beyond him wanting to. It's the fact that
And-
he's not capable
and-
at all.
And so, not to put too much, but, there was a neighbor who had fallen, an older lady, and he was the person to get her an ambulance. It's just amazing.
Yeah,
So, but
it's a sad situation.
it's a very sad situation.
The condition of the house, like I said, this is the second fire in less than a year, and I don't think he ever truly repaired the burn issues from the first time. I think he just kind of covered it up. So, to be honest, if somebody was going to help him, it'd be better just to tear it down and build a whole new.
well, he
structure
could
there.
burn up in the next fire.
Yeah, that and
There's a propane
so
tank sitting right there in the corner.
it would actually be
It's just a
better
bad
thing for everybody
situation.
around. Just go ahead and get this one on the ground, and then he's got the property. If somebody can help him build something else back there, safer place.
Hopefully, like I said, some outreach group can get with him and find a safe place for him. I think he still is in the hospital right now, correct? I was told
Yeah,
yesterday.
yeah. And before he went to the hospital, TPD picked him up, and he stayed there 24 hours, got back out, was sleeping on the neighbor's yard lawn.
Yeah.
And then now he's in the hospital.
Is that all you had
That's all
today?
we've got.
All right, thank you, fellas.
Thank you.
Any further questions for Virgil or Barry? Okay, Zach, your turn.
I have one for you guys tonight. This is an introduction for annexing property. This is the city of Tuscaloosa annexing 102.02 acres around the airport. So you can see this is the location, this is the property. It was unanimously recommended for approval in July, and you guys can adopt this by unanimous consent following introduction tonight. That's pretty much it. They're trying to, expand the runway here as part of the master plan for the airport.
Mhm.
Any questions?
Any questions for Zach? That's all?
That's it.
How about that? All righty. Mayor Maddox?
Yes, sir. I've got several items, but I plan to be quick. Number one, I enjoyed seeing you last night at Catch a Taste for our town hall meeting.
Always fun.
Erica and DJ, they're amazing people.
They really are.
They have an amazing story, and so glad to see so many people there last night, and even see some old friends from the district as well. And so enjoyed that. We will be requesting an executive session in a few minutes. Mr. Holmes will be making that request. And I just want to follow up. Last Friday, we call it Balance Day around here, but our budget, for the most part, is now in the hands of being reviewed and then off to the printers, getting ready for our August 25th recommendation to you. And I forwarded you a copy of the budget message that I sent to our team members, and really kind of give the public an idea of what we're going to be recommending to the city council. And I think most of this has really unanimous consent among all of you. You know, first and foremost is to expand and consolidate and enhance code enforcement. I think we just see, you know, it's clearly that's something our neighborhoods continue to need, and I think we're in a position to do that. Second is to invest in IT. I can't tell you enough about Jason Foster and what he's brought to our IT department and the very thoughtful, strategic way he is moving forward. And I look forward to sharing the recommendations from him in our budget. Third is water and sewer. Kimberly and Ron and the entire water and sewer team has been very impressive to me. And I know they've had some individual meetings with you as well. And I look forward to sharing some of their recommendations moving forward. The fourth, as you will see, we're realistic about inflation. And we're also realistic about where we are with what's coming. You will see that we are going to be far more conservative than probably the other 9 major cities in Alabama. We've been discussing their budgets with them, and I think that's a wise course of action. We're in an uncertain period. Maybe the economy is much better than what we think, but we also, it's not only just the growth of revenues we have to pay attention to. Inflation has impacted us greatly, especially water and sewer, and with our fuel cost, and you will see that, and we want to address that in realistic time. Fifth, as you will see in our budget recommendation that we're going to begin taking steps toward RSA. That's a matter that's going to take a lot more discussion among the city council, but I know there's a want to there, and so if there's a want to, this is the budget year to begin thinking about how you get there in potentially 26 or 27. If RSA is correct, it takes 3 to 5 years to make that transition. We have to prepare in advance if that's something we decide to do. We all want to do it. Getting there certainly will be the journey. 6 is aligning Elevate for the next 8 to 10 years, which will, again, you will see us outline. And last is what I call the return to fundamentals. You're going to see us invest heavily in paving and neighborhood drainage in our budget.
Amen.
So I look forward to working with you. I've tried to incorporate the things y'all discuss with me in your monthly meetings with me and other conversations. And you will, you know, depending upon where our revenues stand, you will have potentially some more resources to add to it. And our team looks forward to working with you. I can't thank enough Carly and Becky and our entire budget team. When you put this all together between capital and operating, it's $500 million. And there's a lot of thousands upon thousands of moving parts, hundreds of thousands of transactions we do on a monthly basis, and tying it all together over the last several months, I feel very, very good about it and look forward to sharing with you. And then we look forward as a team of working with you in September to get it done. And so I'm just excited about it, look forward to putting it to you. It won't be, as the good news is, it won't be, I don't think it will be as intense as it was last year and as many big issues. So, Mr. President, that's all I have.
Thanks, sir. Did you say executive session?
Yes, we will need an executive session with 2 matters. They shouldn't take long, but we need to advise the council of 2 sensitive matters.
Okay. Thank you very much. Department comments. Marion, I'd like to ask you, we're halfway through the school supplies for parking tickets.
Well, yes, sir. Actually, as of yesterday, we have about 500 items.
Wow.
And I think it was taken care of maybe 52 citations. But more than that, we've actually just had individuals donate, not because they had parking citations. So that's really where it's coming from the most.
Did you? Mr. Crowe, was it one of his tickets?
Yes, it was one. Well, I'm proud that you took care of it.
Someone's gonna enjoy their school supplies.
Hope you pay double in school supplies.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm so glad that you paid it.
Actually, Sissy helped with that, cause it was when I was down there in Walton's with the commission. I got a ticket. No good deed goes unpunished.
No,
What you
Mayor.
say?
Isn't that great, though? We have people like Marion and her department doing
Oh, yeah.
that. It's fantastic.
And I keep telling people who complain about a ticket, there's a deck right there, and it's maybe 2 blocks from where you work. It's not gonna kill you. Just park there and walk.
Be good for you.
Absolutely.
Good logical
I know it, right? I'm logical very few times a month. All right, Mr. Holmes.
Sir, good afternoon, council. Fortunately, I believe UD and our friends of revenue have taken care of most of the agenda. I do have one item under unfinished business. This is amending various sections of Chapter 7 of the Code of Tuscaloosa. You may recall last week, this is something that this is the amending the NAICS code in our business license portion that had gotten ahead of the queuing permit. So we'd asked to table it a week so you could hear both of those.
So they
things
catch
on
up
the
with
same
each
night.
other tonight,
Yes, sir.
both the queuing ordinance and the NAICS codes
Yes.
tonight.
And then we will continue on about halfway down on page 3 of your agenda, where on page 25, you'll be authorizing the purchase of equipment, supplies, or services from Stivers Ford. This is a total of $31,117. On page 26, you'll be authorizing the mayor to execute a contract to obtain stop-loss health insurance coverage from Highmark for fiscal year 2023. You heard about that last week in finance. On page 27, you'll be authorizing the mayor to execute a letter of engagement with Warren Everett for internal audit services. This is for the PL 113-2 audit project. You heard about that in finance last week. On page 28, you'll be authorizing a minor public works contract with Harpole Steel Buildings. This is a total of $3,700, or I'm sorry, $3,750. You heard about that in projects last week. On page 29, you'll be authorizing a minor public works contract with Paint on Us Plus for an amount total of $9,350. You heard about that in projects last week. On page 30, you'll be authorizing Tuscaloosa Fire Rescue to execute a revocable specialty license agreement. This is with University Mall for one of their expos. You guys see these frequently. We're going to explore potentially doing one for a longer term for our public safety folks, where they can just notify them in advance, so you don't have to keep kind of seeing these same license agreements over and over again. This is no cost to the city. On page 31, you'll be authorizing the CFO to draw a draft for Juanita Drive Phase 2 improvements. This is for project property acquisitions, total of $2,463. It comes from my office. On page
What are we
32,
buying, Scott?
this is property acquisition for the Juanita Drive Phase 2 improvements project. Mr. Bob can give you more details.
We're buying right away for sidewalks.
Sidewalk and storm drainage.
Yeah. It's disaster.
All right, thank you.
On page 32, you'll be authorizing Amendment 12 to fiscal year 2022, this general fund reserve for future improvements fund budget. You heard about that in finance last week. And then finally, at the end, on pages 38 through 40, you'll be amending section 21 through 29 of the Code of Tuscaloosa. This came from admin and then last week's projects. This is the queuing permit. We do have a couple items for executive session. Are there any questions for me on the agenda?
25. Where is Stivers Ford? Was that a bid process?
That comes from purchasing, so it is a
It's on the-
budgeted automobile.
It's on the state bid list, so,
Okay.
so Stivers Ford has always been, a vendor that we purchased our vehicles from because of their state bid, engagement process.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Scott.
All right.
I don't know, I guess we're gonna be okay with all the committees today with Mr. Lanier and Ms. Howard out. We'll probably depend on some
Alternates were probably.
alternates, so, make sure you, including myself, see which ones are alternates on, may be needed today. Projects, finance, admin, community development.
So, one sec on admin and policy. Cassius is vice chair, Raven is alternate.
Yeah.
It's just me and John.
Okay.
Well, I think we're gonna table some stuff anyway,
Yeah.
so it doesn't matter. I mean,
Correct.
not that it doesn't matter, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Same on community development,
It would be me and
Matthew's the alternate, Kip's the vice chair, okay?
Okay.
So do
Yep.
you and Mr. Wilson?
Cool beans.
We can handle it. Okay, so, busy committee meetings, and, for folks watching or listening at home, tomorrow, there's a framework planning and zoning commission, framework and planning and zoning commission in the council chamber, personnel board next Monday. Once again, I saw on channel 20 about Lake Nickel and Harris Lake Master Plan Community Engagement Event, which will be at the Phelps Center on Monday. Also ZBA Monday. And, of course, the mayor's budget presentation 1 week from Thursday at 1:30.
May I ask a question? Is the Board of Education council meeting confirmed for the 22nd?
Yes, sir.
It's
It
5 o'clock.
is.
At 5?
Liz had sent the calendar invite a long time ago, but whoever made this update apparently took hers away, and it showed as new. Stacy and I talked about that this morning. It's been on the calendar for a while.
So it's still, and is it at the Board of Education?
Regents room.
Oh, it's not here?
I thought it
I
was
was
here.
thinking it was here.
I thought it was
The
here.
next one,
Was
in
the-
the spring, I believe, will be.
Because the last one was there.
Well, can people still
We
take that
started
survey?
This
To
way,
win.
it's just what we're out there.
Okay.
Take the survey to win.
Okay.
Somebody tell me
Okay,
where
that's
it goes.
fine.
So even though we're having the
You
meeting,
can ride
the
with me,
survey's still
John.
gonna
We'll leave
be.
here at 4:50.
Is that the same room we met in last time?
Yeah, that's where the board has their
It's
meeting.
at
Yeah.
central office.
Okay.
Matthew and Norman give us a tour.
Yeah.
You can still give it to it too, I believe.
Probably not much has changed.
Okay, is there a motion that we go into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Holmes?
Yes, sir. As your city attorney and attorney licensed to practice law in the state of Alabama, I can certify that these topics are to discuss with their attorney the legal ramification of and legal options for pending litigation, controversies not yet being litigated, but imminently likely to be litigated, or imminently likely to be litigated if the governmental body pursues a proposed course of action, as well as to discuss preliminary negotiations involving matters of trade or commerce in which the governmental body is in competition with private individuals or entities or other governmental bodies in Alabama or in other states or foreign nations, or to discuss matters, the discussions of which would have a detrimental effect upon the competitive position of a party to the negotiations.
Okay, we have a motion second. All in favor to go into executive session, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, if you're not